From Winner's Gibbet in Northumberland. Welcome to the GCN Show.
From Delaware Forest, welcome to the GCN Show.
Welcome to the GCN Show.
Coming up this week, we've got a cycling crime watch special. Bradley Wiggins hints that he may continue his career beyond 2016. And we also find out that Cy has just spent $40,000 on a bike.
We also talk you through the route of the 2017 Giro D'Italia, and you can also find out why you should only ride at 13 kilometres per hour.
That is something that I'll be very interested to find out why as an excuse. Before we get on with the show this week though, you may have noticed a slight difference in the GCN set. And we are very pleased to announce that from this point onwards, the GCN Show will be coming to you in partnership with Alpe and the Maratona de Les Dolomites.
Yeah, as you will have seen from the introduction, it is a stunning place to ride your bike. So we're going to have loads of cracking content coming up for you very soon, like real-time training videos and Tom Last suffering a lot. But in the meantime, in tribute to our mountain-based partners, we have completely overhauled the GCN set.
It's unrecognisable. In fact, I can barely believe I'm in the same place as before.
Unreal, isn't it?
One question, why have we got a beaver here?
Oh, it's not a beaver, it's a marmot. Caption of the week now, and the results from last week's show. First of all, this was the picture that we gave you. It is of the Cannondale Drag Pack cheerleading squad, and the winner is David Beaumont, who said, I thought you said Cannondale Drag Pack.
That's quite good.
That isn't bad,
well done,
actually.
David.
A few of you had the same suggestion, but he got there first. Sorry about that.
Well done, David. Get in touch with us on Facebook with your address, and we will be sending you out a GCN Camelback water bottle, limited edition one, no less.
That actually exists as well.
That we have at the moment.
Yeah.
This week's photo is this one of Vincenzo Nibali on his get-together with the Bahrain cycling team, sat down in a goal. I shall get you started.
Go on, mate.
It's a headline. Shark caught in net.
I'm not going to lie, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Good effort, mate.
Well, if you can do equally well, or even better than that, nigh on impossible, I would imagine, leave your captions in the comment section just down below.
I was thinking like Vincenzo Nigoli. Any good?
Yes, not bad. So.
Like Nibali? Nigoli? No?
It is time now for Hack/Bodge of the Week. Both the slashes in the right direction since Matt is not here. We're going to kick this off with one that's come in from Jan, who has a new bike for @DanielLloyd1, which is me. And I think he's completely right on here. It looks like a keg of beer which can be transported via pedal power.
That is very cool. That's a definite hack.
It is a definite hack.
I'm wondering though, mate, I think it might be a bit heavy for you to actually ride these days. So you need either a motor in there or just drink a lot of beer.
And a
first.
licence and some insurance too.
Good point. Yeah, and remember, don't drink and ride. This next one I absolutely love. It's from Adrian Vandermeer, and he's asked, rightly so, can I get a little love from my freshly wrapped handlebars? Take a closer look. We can't work out what he's done there. It looks like some kind of plaiting with two different coloured.
And we have spent quite some time looking at it.
We have indeed, but that's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure on the colour scheme, but the idea, very good.
Well, he bought the bike in that colour scheme, so clearly he likes it. Yeah, fair play. That is a hack, Adrian.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Well, here's a definite bodge. This is from Bryn Miles, who says, GCN hack solution for when you want to get more aero on your commute.
But what's keeping his hand? Oh, he's got another stem on there.
Yep.
2 stems. I always wondered whether you could stick 2 pairs of handlebars when you fail to cut your steerer tube down.
Yeah.
And there you go. Don't invest in spacers. Stick another stem on top. Inspired. That's definitely a bodge, isn't it? This next one, that has got to be one of the Garmin mounts of the century.
I love that.
Yeah, look at that. A spoon. Electrical taped onto your stem.
Yeah, amazing. Right, next up, this is rather interesting. I think this probably was built like this. I don't think this was a subsequent bodge or hack, if you ask me. Tristram Charnley sent this bike in. Bit of twisting going on there.
I bet that's pretty flexy.
Yeah, probably.
A bit flexy. So, but yeah, Fair play.
At one
Nice.
point, it was definitely flexi.
It was. This next one, Andreas Plen, I believe that is. Not sure if this is any good. He's sticking his Shimano derailleur in his dishwasher.
With the cutlery and crockery.
I tell you what, that's going to rust like a good one, isn't it?
You reckon?
Yeah, everything rusts in a dishwasher.
Does it?
Yeah.
I've never had anything rushed in a dishwasher. No.
No, you've got, if you with the salt in the dishwasher.
No.
No?
No.
I think maybe just me then.
I reckon on its own, that could work. I might give it a go. Next up, we've got a rather timely hack from Misa205. He's managed to carve a bike into his pumpkin, which does look rather cool indeed. I think you would agree.
It does indeed.
Hack from me.
Yeah, and then this final one, which was a hack, possibly in the 80s. This is Einav Gertrude, who this was the roof rack that he made himself, which he looks pretty good. Look, he's got a hub up the front to attach his forks to, then a little tray at the back to attach his bike. Simple, but arguably seen better days.
Yeah, well, I think that was definitely a hack back in the day. If you've got any hacks or bodges which you would like to see and feature on next week's show, don't forget the hashtag is GCN Hack, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Keep them coming because we love them. You may remember about a year ago we released a video entitled Where Are They Now?, which was basically looking at where various different ex-pro cyclists are now. And unfortunately, very recently, 2 new cases have come to light where professional cyclists are in fact now in jail.
Yeah, very disappointing indeed. So first up, we have Moreno, Argentin, the 55-year-old who was world champion back in 1986 and a multiple winner of Liège-Bastogne-Liège. Now,
4
he
times.
has just been given a 1-year prison sentence in Italy for fraud. So he and his business partner basically got a lot of money off a couple, their life savings effectively, and then their company went bankrupt, which meant the couple then had to bid back for their own apartment to the tune of €280,000 to get it back.
That is brutal, isn't it? Ruthless, in fact. Well, next up is a chap called Aitor Gonzalez, who you will undoubtedly remember as having won stages in all 3 Grand Tours and, in fact, winning the Vuelta overall back in 2002. Well, he has recently been arrested for robbery after he broke into a mobile phone shop. But unfortunately for Aitor, it's certainly not the first time he's been on the wrong side of the law. In fact, it's the 4th time that he's been arrested since he retired 10 years ago.
4 times. Makes you wonder what he did when he was a cyclist. Anyway, those are some pretty serious crimes for cyclists, but it got us thinking that quite a few of us have probably committed some very serious crimes against cycling itself. So a quick look through Google with the hashtag crimes against cycling quickly brings up this picture of Dan Martin wearing those.
Oh, what is that?
Yeah, I've got no idea. It looks awful.
Yeah. Well, he escaped with a suspended sentence.
Yeah, first offender, so first time offender, should I say?
Yeah, and then more recently, in fact, a crime against cycling that I couldn't fail to notice was actually committed by Bradley Wiggins. And it's not what we think, it's his handlebars at the recent London 6 Day. Look at those!
They do look slightly strange.
Oh my word, I do not know. It overshadows how cool he looks with his World Champ skin suit on.
Well, apparently in the configuration that he was using those handlebars, they are actually against UCI rules.
It's a crime against the UCI as well as cycling.
Yeah, anyway, I bet you have an admission to make at some point in your cycling career for a crime against cycling.
Well, Dan, it's funny you mention it, but yeah, I perhaps do have something that I want to confess to. I've never said this publicly before, but back in 2003, I was at a training camp with the national mountain bike team. We'd been out in Cyprus for a couple of weeks, starting to get a little bit bored, and for some reason, I stole a number of items of women's underwear from lost property and in the hotel, and I emptied the contents of my team manager's saddlebag, his inner tubes and his puncture repair kit, and I replaced those items with women's underwear. And to this day, I've never confessed before, and I do not know what happened when my team manager actually got stranded at the side of the road looking for a spare inner tube to replace a puncture, and all he had was lingerie.
That is terrible, Si.
I'm really sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, as you can probably guess, what we want from you now are your crimes against cycling confessions, which you can either leave on Facebook beneath the post we're going to put up, or in the comment section beneath this video. Next week at this time, we're going to read out the best one, and at that point, our viewers are going to have the chance to vote either way, either acquitted or sentenced.
That's right. You will be able to vote on YouTube and be judged by your peers. So get those confessions coming in.
Okay, Radar, what are we doing today?
You're going 30 kilometers and climbing 400 meters.
Sounds hard.
Yeah, maybe not. For
No,
you,
maybe tomorrow.
today. No, fair enough. Right, tech of the week. As you can see, Dan has got his hands on the new Oakley Radar Paces. And to be fair, they could be very good for Dan because in addition to the traditional Oakley radars, there's also a whole load of new tech, including built-in training plans that are communicated directly into your ears by the built-in earphones.
You haven't done any climbing yet.
She's not wrong, is she?
Accurate, I think you
Yeah,
might say.
she's got you dialed.
Yeah, inside the glasses are 3 microphones, earphones. We've also got a barometer. We've got a gyroscope and also a humidity gauge as well. That last one might not work with you, Si, given the amount of moisture generally in the vicinity when you are exercising.
Or not exercising, as the case may be.
They also connect to Ant Plus devices too.
Oh, so you can get up to your power meter and also your heart rate as
Yeah.
well. Excellent. I think perhaps the most innovative thing though is actually the smartphone app as well, which was developed in collaboration with Intel. And effectively, you could ask it to write you a training plan telling you what your goal is and when your goal is, and it will give you week by week, day by day instructions piped directly into your ears, as well as giving you motivation and real-time information updates during your ride or workout as well.
Conceivably then, you can just wake up in the morning, put your glasses on, ask them what you're supposed to be doing that day in terms of training, and they'll tell you. Pretty neat. Okay, Radar, I think we're getting on rather well, and you sound very nice indeed. I think we might have a future together.
As far as I can tell, we haven't gone anywhere.
Oh.
It's now time for cycling shorts.
Early last week, the organisers of the Giro D'Italia RCS Sport unveiled the route for the 2017 edition, which will be the 100th, and it does look particularly tough. So already on stage 4, there's a mountaintop finish up to the top of Mount Etna, and then stage 16 looks particularly brutal. They go up the fearsome Moreno, a very steep climb, which Si knows quite intimately, and then they go on to do the Stelvio. Twice from different directions.
That is particularly brutal, isn't it? The race starts in Sardinia before moving over to Sicily, of course, and then after a lap of Italy, ultimately finishes in Milan with a 28-kilometre time trial. Defending champion Vincenzo Nibali has indicated that he is going to be there, as has former teammate Fabio Aru.
Nairo Quintana has hinted that he might come back after winning in 2014 to attempt the Giro Tour double. Ooh. But despite being invited personally by Vincenzo Nibali, it does seem like Chris Froome is going to skip the Giro in May and concentrate his efforts once again on July.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Now, one former Tour de France winner, Sir Bradley Wiggins, has been back in action. He has been competing in the London 6-day. Very interestingly, in a post-race interview, he hinted that this may not in fact be his last season. He was supposed to be riding the 6-day as his penultimate event and then finally drawing his career to a close at the Ghent 6-day in just a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, and in the interview it's very obvious that he was really enjoying being back on the boards in front of a home crowd. But he did also say that money talks, which I guess is fair enough. It's just a shame that for you and I, Si, when we were about to retire, there was no money talking, or much other talking whatsoever, really.
No, just quite a lot of silence.
There was quite a bit of silence, yeah.
Yeah. You know what, mate? It has been a funny old off-season already so far. We had Joaquin Rodriguez, first of all, unretiring. Now we've got Bradley Wiggins potentially unretiring before he's actually even retired. I just wonder whether it has anything to do with the fury surrounding your comeback to Team Dimension Data earlier in the year.
You might have a point now. I mean, I did get a lot of publicity for that.
Yeah.
Maybe they're seeking something similar.
Moving on, over the last few months, we have had some amazing hacks and bodges where people have, often as we said, rather crudely fashioned their bikes into e-bikes. I think the one where the person attached a drill to their bottom bracket axle was a particular low light. But it has to be said, you need to exercise extreme caution, not just for safety reasons, but also, as you'll see from this tweet, because someone has had their bike seized by police because they have stuck a petrol engine on it, thereby turning it into a motorised vehicle, and they didn't have a licence and they didn't have insurance. Check that out.
Yeah. I just out of interest, Si, asking for a friend of mine, do you need the licence and insurance for a hidden motor on a road bike?
I tell you what, I bet, country dependent, your friend might actually have to have a number plate on his push bike.
Right, anyway, on to the next subject. A couple of weeks ago on the show, we talked about Robin Williams' bike collection, which was up for auction to raise money for charity. And it did very well indeed. They managed to raise over $600,000 for charity. But looking into the details of it, some of the bikes went for an enormous amount of money. And the one that went for the most was the one that you liked, the Colnago Master Pista or something with a special paint job. Over $40,000 you spent on that, which I think probably explains why you wouldn't buy me coffee this morning.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, mate, but that's going to explain why I'm probably not going to buy a coffee for you for about 14 years.
Oh, fair play.
But if you do want to bring your own coffee and come and look at my bike, then you're more than welcome to, because it is quite,
Cheers,
quite
mate.
nice. Yeah, anytime. Right, okay, something slightly different now, and you will remember, I'm sure, the resignation of British Cycling's performance director, Shane Sutton, just prior to the Olympic Games, following allegations of sexism and disableism by current and former team members. Well, the review into Sutton's conduct has just announced its conclusions, and unfortunately for him, and indeed the athletes involved, it actually says that he did indeed make those comments.
Well, let's hope the athletes involved can get themselves back on track in terms of their career and just concentrate on their cycling from now on. Just out of interest side, did you happen to see the study last week, which was entitled Breath Biomarkers to Measure the Volatile Uptake of Organic Compounds by Bicyclists?
Yes, is that the one by Alexander Bagazzi?
That is the one. You saw it too. It's
Fascinating
quite
study.
interesting. Effectively, what he was trying to do was measure the intake of harmful pollutants through breathing by city cyclists and then determine the optimal speed to cycle to minimise the effect of said harmful pollutants. And the good news is that the results are quite easily attainable. So 13 kilometres per hour is ideal for women and 15 kilometres per hour is ideal for men aged between 24 and 60.
Yeah, now unfortunately, mine and Dan's subscription to the Journal of Sustainable Transport has literally just lapsed, so we actually can't see the whole journal article. But we do wonder whether or not a person's fitness will actually have an effect on that speed, and also the volume of traffic as well. So we were kind of thinking that if you don't want to ride at 15k an hour or 13k an hour, what you could do is go for a longer, less traffic heavy route, ride as fast as you possibly can, go harder, and then still arrive at work at the same time. Job done.
That'd be a long old ride in New York or London if you're in the centre.
Wouldn't it just ride Zwift in your apartment maybe?
Now, one guy who definitely wasn't going along at those sorts of speeds was Tanguy Decane.
Who?
Tanguy Decane. He is a French banker who works in the City of London. He was recently prosecuted for dangerous cycling. So what he'd done is cut up a police car, who then chased after him because he didn't stop. So he was frantically trying to evade the police. They chased him for a good 20 minutes or so, sirens going, flashing blue lights, etc. Eventually caught him and prosecuted him. And ironically, they found out that he normally commutes by bike to work to reduce stress levels. Maybe, I was thinking, he should take up city centre racing on fixed gear bikes with no brakes.
Oh, Jeremy.
Tanguy.
I tell you what, he can probably afford to break bikes at least.
And they'll probably be his own bikes too.
Yeah, Jeremy. Oh, Jeremy.
Racing news now, and we'll kick off with the 5th edition of the Taiwan KOM Challenge, which took place on Friday. Now, as the name suggests, it is predominantly uphill, taking the riders 110 kilometres up to around 3,300 metres above sea level. Now, in the men's race, the winner was Oscar Pujol, who was formerly of the Cervelo test team.
Was he really?
Yeah, he took back a pretty cool $31,000 for his efforts. And in the women's race, it was Emma Pooley who won a pretty close fought affair. She finished 24 minutes up on second place Yumiko Goda, and for her equivalent effort, she took back $5,800.
Yeah, that's not quite so good. Right, well, elsewhere, the track season is continuing to gather pace with the recent London 6-Day. Now, unfortunately, for some reason, Dan and I, also known as the Track Dream Team, were once again overlooked by the London 6-Day organisers in favour of riders like, well, Sir Bradley Wiggins and Mark Cavendish. Yeah. But in fairness to them, they did still manage to put on a dramatic week of racing. And actually, the local Giro of Wiggins and Cav got overhauled on the very last race, on the very last night, by the Belgian pairing of Moreno and Kenny de Catala, who, what can only be said, unleashed a devastating attack in the final Madison. with 20 laps to go to take a lap back and then still win the final sprint.
It was almost a wattage bazooka, wasn't it?
Arguably, it was a devastating bazooka.
Meanwhile, the cyclo-cross season took a bit of a break from what is the usual Belgian-centric calendar for the Continental Championships. So in Europe, incredibly in the men's race, it was neither Mathieu van der Poel nor Wout van Aert who managed to take the win. They both finished 45 seconds down on eventual winner, young Toon Aerts of Belgium. And in the women's race, it's current world champion Talita de Jong who managed to continue her impressive pedigree really and results. She took the European Championships in some quite dominant form.
Yeah, and over in the Pan America Champs, Katie Compton took her 3rd title, whereas in the men's race, Stephen Hyde took a brilliant victory in what will be his 1st Pan America Champs title. So congratulations to them too.
Yeah. 2 tweets and an Instagram post from Dom this time, and the first one is said Instagram post, and it's from Nikki Bramier, as she is now known since getting married to Matt. This is not makeup from Halloween, as she said. She collided with Helen Wyman at the start of the European Cyclocross Championships on Sunday, and this was the result for her. It does look particularly nasty. Helen, meanwhile, sustained a broken collarbone, so very big get well wishes from us at GCN to both of you.
Absolutely. Right, we're sticking with the Halloween theme. We've got this tweet from Andre Greipel. All the hard work pays off. Look at that. And I'm not going to lie, Dan, but I think that pumpkin on the left, I think he's carved that in a certain image of himself. What an amazing...
Does look, yeah, not a dissimilar smile, is it?
Fair play, Andre. That is a pretty good likeness in pumpkin form.
Yeah, and we shall finish with a tweet from Mark Cavendish, who was busy building his own track bike up just before the 6th day in London. Building the machine today for at 6 Day Cycling, loving the job at Cervelo, Envy Composites, etc.
Oh, you know what? I thought that was a nice one from Dom, actually. It's nice to see a pro bike rider actually getting their hands dirty.
Yeah.
Or
Do you think he actually did? Or do you think he just took a photo with the mechanic out of the way?
Well, yeah, he hasn't actually done anything yet there, has he, I suppose?
No, that's how it arrived in the post.
Yeah, he's just basically assembled it and then given it to his mechanic.
I bet he... Let's give it to Cav. I expect he did do it himself.
I bet he did, yeah. He looks like the kind of guy. Comment of the week now, and as ever, we have been thoroughly enjoying reading what you all have to say underneath the YouTube videos. First up, this one really stood out under Nico Roach's pro bike, Taurus 20077. Clearly a bit concerned about Lasty's welfare. GCN needs to get Lasty a little stool to sit on when he does one of these pro bikes, because he doesn't look very comfortable kneeling like that. He looks like he's about to get cramp at any moment. It's almost like he's seen that video of Tom getting cramp in every pro bike.
You would be right, Taurus. He is about to get cramp at any moment. But I do like your suggestion. I genuinely think maybe we should invest in a GCN stool for Lasty for when he's doing his pro bikes.
A little camping chair.
Needs to be foldable so he can pack it with him and get it in a small suitcase. Meanwhile, underneath top winter tips with myself and Matt, Rickster wrote, is Dan the Gumby the G portion of GCN? The last time I could put my toes in my mouth, I was still in diapers.
Funny, you managed to get your foot in your mouth all the time, Dan.
Yeah, that is true. I see what you did there, Si.
Yay! Ah, amazing. Sorry, I'll be here all week. Right, next up, we've got underneath, who is the best pro cyclist of the year rider questionnaire. Dan Duven said Matt Stevens.
Yeah, and incredibly, that got 192 thumbs up.
Yeah, maybe the video is actually who's the best pro cyclist of the year 1992, because that might be more accurate.
Yeah. I think people just feel sorry for Matt, don't they? Surely. Coming up on the channel this week, on Wednesday, using our vast experience, using many years watching bike races on TV, we're going to show you how to attack.
Yeah, and also, Dan, from watching from the peloton, because people attacked us.
That's true.
Very successfully.
We have built up a lot of knowledge over the years, haven't we?
Yeah, I know.
And we're going to pass that on to you now. And then on Thursday, there's a special standalone video continuing our theme from today, crimes against cycling. That'll be one from Matt. And also stay tuned to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Global Cycling Network, because Si is going to be hosting a video that evening, UK time, with a couple of Zip aerodynamic specialists, gurus.
Absolutely. Get your questions in advance and on the day if you want to ask them about anything to do with aerodynamics.
Yeah, should be very interesting indeed. And on Friday, we've got Ask GCN Anything.
Yep, Saturday, we take a close look at Alberto Contador's pro bike.
Hold on a second. I just did that one 2 months ago.
I know, last he did say that, and then he said that because you got the mechanical electronic group set thing wrong, he thought he'd better redo it.
Is that what he said? Is it?
Literally word for word. So yeah, that's coming up on the channel this week. And also, to be fair, it coincides with his last race on his Specialized tarmac which served him pretty well over the last few seasons. Then on Sunday, Matt got great inside access to Team Sky's first get-together of the season, including undergoing the medical test there. And then on Monday, I tell you how to stop brake squeal, and also with the help of GMBN, it has to be said.
I'm going to go and have a word with Lasty.
Tuesday, all being well, we'll be back here for the GCN show. Not entirely sure who's going to be presenting that one. Welcome to the GCN show. Well, I'm afraid to say we are coming towards the end of the GCN show for this week.
Just a quick reminder though, to those of you who would like to purchase some GCN core cycling kit or some winter training kit, it is currently on sale. As in, not just on sale, but on sale, as in reduced in price. So if you want to get yourself a bargain, head over to shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com. And if you happen to miss last week's show, we should also inform you that there is a new range of women's casual clothing available there too.
Absolutely, but if more videos are what you're after right now, then here's a couple of suggestions for you. If you click just up there, then you get to see inside Bell's helmet torture chamber, which is worth a watch for, I think, anyone who rides a push bike, actually. And then also, just down there, we have 5 winter training tips.
Yeah.
So check that one out too.
And to subscribe to the Global Cycling Network, just click on the globe. There's a globe. I wonder if they'll put it there.
I'm not sure it's going to work on the mug, Dan.